Good morning, children. Welcome back to our English class. As promised, we are back again with one more revision for you of lesson number 3, The Mountain That Ate People. And as we know, children, this lesson is written by Hema Pandey. And we know that Hema Pandey is well known for translation of Japanese folk tales based on children, right? So now, before we could go ahead, let us know what is the portion of English once again for your periodic assessment. We know that we have got two prose and one poem, and one topic in grammar and one topic in composition. So, children, what we will do is we will just go through the summary as we did in the first lesson. And once we are done with the summary, we will go through the synonyms and the antonyms and the reference to the context, as well as we will go through the question answers. Okay, so now we will start with the summary of this lesson. So let's start the revision of lesson number 3, The Mountain That Ate People, written by Hema Pandey. Now, children, just come to this slide, and I'm very sure that you remember the story, right? Yes, it was a wonderful story based on one farmer and a feudal lord. Now, let us do the reading of this particular lesson. A Japanese feudal lord decided that every person older than 61 was useless and needed to be disposed of. Now, as we know, in this particular story, feudal lord, that means the you can say the one who is in charge of the village or the entire state, actually decided to dispose of those who are at the age of 61. The reason is, according to him, these people are useless, okay, and they can't work. So why they should, live? And that was the main concern. So he issued a decree under the threat of severe punishment that everyone had to leave their family members over that age in the dangerous forest of a high mountain near the city. Now, as we know the story, feudal lord decided and he came across with a decree. Decree means an order, an official order that anyone whose family member is turning to 61 years old, they are actually going to take that particular person to the high mountain, I mean, near the dangerous forest, and they're going to leave that person over there. Now, of course, that person won't be coming back. The reason is it was a dangerous forest. Yes. When we say dangerous forest, that means there are a lot of animals, wild animals. So that person, it's very rare that a person will survive and come back. So one farmer who loved his mother dearly was absolutely distraught when his mother turned 61. That means there was one farmer in that particular village, and when his mother turned 61, he was actually, very much stressed, and he couldn't believe that he's going to take his mother to that forest, the dangerous forest, and he is going to, make his mother die. So, I mean, he just thought, how am I going to do this? And that's the reason he was actually distraughted. The mother persuaded him to take him away anyway, but halfway through the journey, the farmer turned back and hid her in a small room under the ground. So, as we know, children, the mother told the child that you are not supposed to disobey the order of feudal lord. So, any which ways, I am ready to go and stay in forest. But, however, the child couldn't believe it, and he never wanted his mother to stay in forest, and that's the reason he took his mother back, and he thought of hiding his mother in a small room under the ground. Now, 2 years passed. Somehow the feudal lord was overrun by a neighboring overlord. So, as we know in this story, the neighboring overlord thought of, stating a war against this feudal lord, and he was threatening and thought of defeating this feudal lord. So, the farmer pleaded for mercy towards his people. Feudal lord said to the neighboring overlord that please don't do this and don't defeat my village, and please do something, and I'm ready to do whatever you say. So the overlord set him a riddle to solve as the conditions for his clemency. So, as we know, the neighboring feudal lord told him that I will be asking you few riddles, and if you give me the correct answer, I will definitely think of not threatening or defeating your state or your village. However, it was too tricky for the feudal lord, and he proclaimed that anyone in the land who could solve it would be rewarded. So, yes, children, neighboring feudal lord demanded for three riddles, and the riddles were actually very tricky, which the feudal lord couldn't actually give the answer. So, do you remember what was the first riddle? Yes, the first riddle was take 1,000 strings, tie them into a bundle, and burn it into ashes. Now, how can you bring that bundle to me completely intact? Now, as we know, farmer's grandmother was very smart and intelligent. So she gave the answer, make a bundle out of 1,000 strings, soak it in a seawater, and dry it well in the sun. Even if this is burnt to ashes, it can still be carried intact to the mighty Lord. Yes. Now, students, do you remember what was the second riddle? Yes, the second riddle was, how is it possible to pull a silken thread through a narrow pipe with seven bands? I repeat, how is it possible to pull a silken thread through a narrow pipe with seven bands? And yes, what was the answer? The answer was, get a narrow pipe with seven bands, place it on the ground, and put plenty of sugar at the end of the pipe. Then tie a silken thread through a large end and release it at the opposite end. So, yes, what will happen? Surely the end will pull the silken thread through the pipe, not only through seven bands, but it could be even more than 70 bands. The reason is ant will get attracted to the sugar, right? Isn't it? Yes. Now, do you remember what was the third riddle? Very smart boys and girls. Yes, the third riddle was, the great lord wishes to make a drum which will play itself. Yes, the great lord wishes to make a drum which will play itself. Now, how to make this drum? Make an ordinary drum and put some bumblebees. Yes, so what will happen? The bumblebees will actually play merrily without being touched, and you have to cover both the ends of the drums. So, see, it was so easy, and this answer was given by farmer's mother. Now, farmer's mother solved it very easily, winning the reward for her son and saving the lives of the people. Now, the overlord then repeated the same exercise twice, the same result. Yes, so we know that this was done thrice, and we have already done and gone through the three riddles, isn't it? Now, let us go to the next slide. Final time round, the feudal lord grew suspicious of the farmer and asked him how he found the answer to the riddles. So, yes, feudal lord was really surprised, and he asked the farmer how did he find all the answers correct. So, this time the farmer decided that definitely he will tell the truth to the lord, that he actually has not taken his mother to the dangerous forest. So, on learning this about the women's sagacity, the Lord withdrew the cruel decree. That means the feudal Lord was not at all angry, and he realized the value of the great wisdom of the old people and his great mistake in sending them away to the mountain to die. So, this time he decided that he will take back his cruel decree. That means his cruel order of taking people who are 61 years old to the dangerous forest. So from then onwards, everything was quite good, and it was a very happy climax. So yes, children, now you already had been through this revision of lesson number 3. So let us quickly go through the keywords. All right. Now the keywords are the first one, feudal. Yes, we all know feudal means land owning. Yes. Decree, it's an official order or decision especially made by the ruler of the country. I repeat, decree, an official order or decision especially made by the ruler of the country. Jubilant. Jubilant means extremely happy. Petrified, extremely frightened. Yes, petrified, extremely frightened. Now, children, it's time for keywords, that's synonyms. Let us go through each and every word from this lesson. The first one is feudal. We know the meaning. Feudal means landowner. Yes, feudal, landowner. Decree, that means an official order. You can also say it's a decision especially made by the ruler of the country. Jubilant, that means extremely happy. Jubilant, extremely happy. Petrified, meaning extremely frightened. Petrified, extremely frightened. Sobbed, cry noisily. Sobbed, cry noisily. Desolate, that means impression of bleak emptiness. Impression of bleak emptiness. The next word is foliage, that means the leaves of a plant. The leaves of a plant. Dismal, gloomy and hopeless. Gloomy and hopeless. There are a few more words. Proclamation, announce officially. Proclamation, announce officially. Dumbfounded, that means extremely surprised. Dumbfounded, extremely surprised. Ransack, meaning go through a place, stealing things and causing damage. Go through a place, stealing things and causing damage. Harass, meaning to make someone's life unpleasant. To make someone's life unpleasant. Now, let us go through few antonyms as well. That means opposite. Courageous, coward. Courageous, coward. Defeat, victory. Defeat, victory. Dangerous, harmless. Dangerous, harmless. Fearful, bold. Fearful, bold. Energetic, inactive. Energetic, inactive. Hate, love. Hate, love. So, dear children, it's very important that you are actually supposed to go through the entire lesson. As I told you earlier, this lesson or any lessons from your prose or poem is very important. If you go through the entire lesson, it will be very easy for you to understand or recognize the synonyms and the antonyms. Your teacher might ask you anything from inside the lesson as well. So be thorough with your reading of the lesson. Now let us go quickly through question answers. Alright, now question number 1. Why did the feudal lord revoke his decree? Why did the feudal lord revoke his decree? Answer. The feudal lord revoked his decree because he realized that the old are wise and should be valued. He realized that the old are wise and should be valued. So over here, children, if you just pay attention, the question is why did feudal lord revoke his decree? Now, as I already discussed in your previous revision, you are not supposed to use any kind of shortcuts. Okay, you have to write the sentence completely. Okay, in case if this kind of question is being asked. All right, so the answer was the feudal lord revoked his decree because he realized that the old are wise and should be valued. Right. Now question number 2. How did the feudal lord react when the farmer told him the truth? Okay, how did the feudal lord react when the farmer told him the truth? All right, so we know the answer. Feudal lord was not angry with him, right? Yes, feudal lord realized that The farmer had done right thing by saving his mother. He also took back the decree. So feudal lord realized that the farmer had done right thing by saving his mother. He also took back the decree. All right. Now, dear children, this particular question is actually a personal response question. Now, see the question: what does it mean to have courage of conviction? I repeat, what does it mean to have courage of conviction? Who in the story exhibited courage of conviction and how did he display it? Who in the story exhibited courage of conviction and how did he display it? Now, the answer, how you can state this personal responses: to have courage of conviction means to stand up for what one believes in. That means you should have that courage, and if you are correct, if you think that you have not done anything wrong, you should stand up for yourself. Now, let us go ahead. Even if it might mean having to face hardship or trouble. So, when you're facing this, you may come across a lot of trouble, a lot of hardship, but still, you have to convince yourself and you should be courageous. Now, in this story, the farmer displays this quality when he decides to defy the feudal lord's decree to desert his mother to the mountainside. So, over here, as we know, the farmer was not ready to keep his mother in deserted forest, and he brought his mother back. So it was his decision of doing this because according to him he was doing something wrong. So in doing the morally upright thing, he chose to run the risk of severe punishment. So in while doing this, he was not bothered about the future punishment or the risk. At that moment, he thought that this is the right decision that he can take to take care of his mother. So, the answer, what you can write is, I repeat the answer once again. To have courage of conviction means to stand up for what one believes in, even if it might mean having to face hardship or trouble. Now, in the story, the farmer displays this quality when he decides to defy the feudal lord's decree to desert his mother to the mountainside. In doing the morally upright thing, he chose to run the risk of severe punishment. Okay, so this is how you can write the personal response in case if this particular kind of question comes in your exam. All right. Now, dear children, let us go through answer the with reference to the context. Now, the first statement is, tell me honestly who has helped you. I repeat the question, tell me honestly who has helped you. Now, over here the question is, who are me and you in this sentence? So we know the answer. Me is the feudal lord and you is the farmer. Me is the feudal lord and you is the farmer. Now, with reference to the same statement, the second question is, what helped is being referred to here. What helped is being referred to here. So the answer is, the speaker is asking with the help the farmer had in getting the right answer. Yes, the farmer gave the right answer. So the speaker is saying about the same. Now the third one is, who helped the listener in this situation? So yes, we know the correct answer is the listener's mother. That means the farmer's mother helped him in this situation. So yes, students, we are done here with the reference to the context as well. And we are done with all the formats of question answers, the synonyms, antonyms as well. So what you have to do is you have to go through your entire lesson, read it properly. It's a wonderful story. And if we have already given you the question answers, please go through the question answers. And this revision, I'm very sure, must have helped you a lot to revise the story once again, as well as the synonyms and antonyms also. So what I suggest to you is, children, please make sure that you read each and every line of this particular lesson. All right. So I wish you all the best for your examination. Before that, we will be coming back again with one more session of revision, which is the poem. And the poem is Granny's Little Laptop. Yes. So see you soon with another revision of Granny's Little Laptop. Thank you very much, children. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.